everyone, wherever you are and whatever you're celebrating and however you're celebrating. If you celebrate All Souls, if you celebrate All Hallows Eve, Halloween, Samhain, or if you're a southerner like me and you'll be celebrating Beltane, then I wish you many, many happy blessings on your festival. It's very confusing here in Australia. We're slowly adopting what was termed the Americanized Halloween with trick or treating and all of that. But we know that Halloween or Samhain is more of a Celtic tradition from the north, and yet different cultures, indigenous cultures, and traditions around the world in the northern hemisphere have a special festival at this time because it's the last time that you can feast on spring, sorry, the foods that would have been available around then before they go into winter. And it's a bit of a sad time because they would have been harvesting their animals and things like that. Anyone who they thought wasn't going to make it through winter. And, just be enjoying time together before lots of isolation and a period of less. So, however you celebrate it, and I love seeing the kids dress up as trick or treat. I'm actually not going to do it this year. I'm going to wait until next year. It's a bit safer. I love to decorate my house. I love being a quirky witch and putting, treats out for the kids and seeing all their costumes and everything and how much they just love Halloween. I think it's one of those festivals that does bring out a little bit of our wild side and our fun side. And Beltane is actually the festival where the veils are thinner too, like Samhain, and it encourages more trickster type spirits and energy. So if you're doing any psychic and oracle card readings, just take them with an extra grain of salt if you're doing them between now and the 1st of November. And Samhain is where, we really welcome in the spirits who want to come and have a visit with us. So a good way that you can do that is light a candle. I always like to use a white candle and put your loved one's photo near them and just talk to them. As you pass the photo, just say, hey, how you doing? This is what's on my mind, or I really miss you, or I love you. Say their name out loud. And, you're just inviting and making a space for them. Some people, even at their Samhain feast, will set a place for their loved ones. And I have a friend who did that for her loved ones in her family at every Christmas. It's about inclusiveness and saying, even if you're not in a body, doesn't mean you get to be excluded. I think it's a really lovely pagan ritual and celebration, very much connected to the earth and cycles and life, death and rebirth. And Beltane is very much the same. It's about worshipping the god Bel. And you have the Bell fires in England, which they lit when Princess Diana passed. And Beltane is all about fertility and rituals and, wanting to enjoy a good harvest coming up. And if you wanted to get married, you would jump over the Bell fires or jump over the broom, sorry. And it's also about extinguishing the old hearth fire and having a period of rest and then lighting your new hearth fire from the Bell fires. So if you want to do a little ritual about that, what I do is I have like either a red candle or a black candle, a little candle, and light that. And then you have your new bell fire, maybe another candle to represent bell, maybe a nice bright orange, that would be great. Or use your red there, or even yellow. So have that as symbolic as the bell fires. And then go and get your new candle, which could be green, celebrating and symbolizing renewal and healing and new growth. And extinguish the black one. So that's last year. Light the green candle from the yellow candle. I have a whole video on this somewhere, explains it much better. And then think about and write down what you're hoping for the new year. You can celebrate pagan rituals and festivals in very simple, easy to do ways with things you have around the home. I'm what you call a kitchen witch, so I like to my magic is in my cooking and creating and making. But if you would like some tips or tricks and things, how to do an easy Beltane ritual or an easy Samhain ritual, then let me know. And because I'm a medium too, I can give you the right words to say to encourage the right type of energies. And that's why people dressed up at Samhain too, to repel any spirits that they didn't want to come into their home. And pumpkin lanterns, that's the evolution of people putting a candle in their window to welcome and show the way home for their loved ones who are in spirit who might come and visit that night. So yeah, Hollywood has taken everything a little too far, a little too much to the dark side, if you ask me. But Halloween is a really beautiful festival, however you celebrate it, and so is Beltane. Okay, so let's dive in. And I asked Spirit to give us a message. What is it that Spirit want us to know for this Halloween or Beltane? And I'm always asking for the best, most positive messages that we can receive at this time. I do have some news for you too while I shuffle these cards. I have a lot of news, but I will do this reading. I will give you my news and then we'll jump into the next reading. That will be a nice segue into that. Okay, so what is it that Spirit wants us to know? What message does Spirit want for us to receive on this Halloween or Beltane? And please, if you are celebrating, I would love to see your photos. You can go ahead and post them on my Facebook page. I'm choosing card from pile number 2, and I knew we'd get a reverse card. So this deck is a little bit trickier. It reverses, and it's the Swan Queen. Okay, so I'll hold her up the other way to show you, but she did come out upside down. Transformation, intuition, patience. Oh, I love it. So what the Swan Queen in what is she called in this one? I don't know if she's called in protection or in alignment. Okay, so what the Swan Queen reverse wants us to know right now for Halloween is there's a lot of attachment to this year and to the suffering that we've all gone through. And, you know, it's sad too. It's a lot of grief around this message because many of us have lost people, our loved ones. And this may be the first Samhain or Beltane that we will be acknowledging their loss. So forgive me. That is a very serious thing. And, you know, I do want to acknowledge and validate people's experiences through the pandemic. This could be a very trying time. And as we head towards the end of the year and Christmas, which we call Yule as pagans, then, you know, this could be bringing up a lot of sadness. And this could all be very raw. These could be new losses. So we could still be, you know, struggling and very challenged to process these losses, now grief. So what the Swan Queen says too is that it's okay to take your time here and not to rush towards the end of the year and not to rush to saying, you know, even as mediums, we know that life goes on and yet we still have to process the loss of the physical person in their physical body and the life that they had with us because they're never coming back to have that again. We will have a spirit connection with them. It will be different to how we relate to them in a body. So the Swan Queen wants you to say, just pause. You know, we just really need to pause and take this time out to reflect and to process. May have lost businesses, we may have lost our job, we may be trying to transform, you know, and pivot or try and create our own new business. And yet I just keep getting the message that this is a rest period. And just to acknowledge that, you know, one door is fully closing and then there's space, there's the vacuum, there's the womb and then the new door will be opening. So it's okay to dwell in this. Give yourself 24 hours at least to just say, okay, what am I absorbing? What am I processing in this, you know, vacuum, in the dark? And what is it that, you know, I'm mostly challenged by at the moment? And what is it that I would like Spirit to support me with? So they want to let you know, Spirit wants to let you know that they are here to support you and to love you through this time. So, and not to bully yourself into this transformation. You know, we talked about last month, you can't hate yourself happy. So, the intuition and the patience. The other thing, too, is that there could be certain blocks that you feel in your life at the moment, and it could feel like you're stagnating, you're stuck, you're procrastinating, and it feels like you just can't move through this initial, phase of your life to where you want to be. And Spirit also want to say sometimes, doors close for a reason. Rejection is God's protection. There just isn't, in the mix at the moment, there just isn't the best energy for creating the new right now. So perhaps that Halloween period might get stretched out to like 72 hours, that sort of thing. And don't feel forced to make big decisions. We've just had all those planets move out of retrograde. We could be in the shadow of some of them. And that shadow period is just as important as the retrograde. And this lull is actually part of the process, and it's an important part. So if you're feeling that, if you're feeling kind of dragged back and the energy's kind of heavy, just say, oh, I may be in tune. I may actually be really in tune with universal energies. And this could be a good time to pause and to rest and just to acknowledge what has gone on for you. That's really, really important. And Spirit are giving you lots of love and assistance, putting lots of light around you to do that. It can be a very sad time too, that where those veils are thinner, we can feel more connected to our loved ones. We can also feel drawn kind of into that space and into that void. Anything in us that is leaving us to die, or any people that we know who are really ill, they can be drawn more towards that feeling of it may be time to go. So just be aware of that as well. It's only for people who are kind of in between worlds, that can be a little bit more of an experience at this time, if that makes sense. I'm just trying to process what Spirit's giving me, and just be aware that can happen. That can be where they're at. A really good crystal for anybody who's kind of between worlds. They're either in a coma or they're very sick, or they feel like it may be their time to transition. It's called serpentine in stickite, or stickite and serpentine, the other way around. It's a limey green crystal with purple in it. And what that stone does is it's a transition stone. So as people are leaving their bodies, they're making the choice to let go of the body and move further into the spirit world, that crystal helps them to do that, to just make that clear, clean transition. Because it can be a really long, drawn out process. So, yeah, that's a little bit dark, that message. But as you said, this is what these times are about: life, death, rebirth. And this is why I like the pagan rituals and the festivals. Okay, so my news is what is dying for me and being transformed and birthing into the new, and what I also feel there's a bit of a pause message about, yet I'll still give you the news is, after almost 20 years of reading one-to-one, doing one-to-one psychic readings, I've transitioned my work into a very special package. And it's psychic for a year. So you can engage my services over a whole 12 months. We do 2 bookend readings, which is we come together in the beginning and we look at what's the project you'd like to work on, what's the business you'd like to launch, what's the big change you'd like to make in your life, and how can Spirit assist and guide you with that. And then 2 check-ins. Sorry, the other bookend is at the end of the whole 12 months. We'll do a bookend and we'll look back and reflect, and then give you some of the, steps and pieces for the next 12 months. So yeah, 2 check-ins. So they're like 20-minute check-ins. How are we going with our goals that we set? How is the project unfolding? Is there anything we need to tweak or any further insights that Spirit want to give you? And then we have, I think it's 6 Voxer check-in sessions. So Voxer is a free app and you can message me. It's a little walkie-talkie app, so much fun. You can hear my voice and I can give you any further insights over Voxer. So if you would like to be one of my VIP clients going forward, this is the only way you can work with me for psychic readings, for intuitive guidance and support, then you need to book a clarity call. So pop over to my website, www.collysavage.com, go to the readings page. The first thing that you can book is a free 20-minute clarity call. Book that. And we get to know each other. We have an introduction. I talk to you about my work. You can ask me any questions you have. And we see if we're a good fit together. Because if we're going to work together for 12 months and we're going to assist and support you to be successful in your business launch or whatever the project is, we need to know if we're going to be able to work together. Well, okay, the other thing is I have two other packages. So I have Be a Better Psychic or Improve Your Oracle Card Reading. You can book either package. They're at the same price. They're 3 to 6 sessions, and all of this work is done on Zoom, by the way, done via Zoom. And so we're meeting online. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. I'm sure we will find a time slot and a day that suits you and I. And so improve your Oracle card reading. Maybe you want to start doing this. You want to create your own YouTube channel. You want to deliver fantastic Oracle card readings and start, delivering them professionally. Or maybe you want to become a professional psychic, whichever modality or ability you want to work through and how to do that. So those packages are really great. Same thing. Book a free clarity call and we'll see if we're a good fit before you go ahead and book the package. If you have any questions, book a clarity call. I've been doing this readings for about almost 20 years. It's sad to say goodbye to that, but I also am going to continue Serenity Sundays. So if you haven't already, jump over to my Facebook page, Kylie Savage Psychic, like and follow it, and go to the live section. There's a live tab, and click the button so that you can be notified when I go live, and click the event. The next one's the 7th of November, and I think it's about 1 o'clock. I think it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I do free readings on there. We care and share. I do a channeled guided meditation. They're so phenomenal. And then I do free psychic readings. So there are always ways to work with me. I have one other really important announcement to make. Drum roll. Okay, so Journaling with Spirit was my free Facebook group, and now it's evolved and transitioned into Kylie's Spirit Circle. So you can go over to Facebook and join that. If you like to journal with Oracle cards, if you like to do Oracle card readings, you want to learn about new spreads, and you also want to join free new and full moon rituals. I'm saying it again. We do moon manifesting. I teach you how to work with the moon to manifest your dream life. It's so fun. It's really sacred, special work. We get together in messenger rooms, so we're videoing. I do a guided meditation. I show you how to write your new moon wishes, show you how to do your forgiveness lists and gratitude lists. Tell you when to release your lists, what to wish for, how to work with your chart through your houses right throughout the astrological year, tell you what the new and full moons are all about, and we do Oracle card readings as a part of our ritual. Everything has to have Oracle cards with me. Come on. We have so much fun, and it's a women's only safe space, and we do deep work, so it's really great to have that support there. It's a very safe space. I want you to be able to grow in trust there, and care and share, and just it's one word I could describe it. I would say it's fun, yet it's deep. It's really deep spiritual work. You would be amazed. If you want to know anything more about that, send me an email. info@kyliesavage.com. Okay, I need a sip. Thirsty work, this. And please, if these messages are resonating with you, oh, wrong card deck, then let me know in the comments. I really would like to know. And what card that you picked, and remember you can come back over the month and pick a different card. I do that. I rewatch it and then I pick a different card each time. So I'm going to be drawing 4 cards, and I want for you to just take a breath with me now. Remember, this breathing's for me too. Okay, in through the nose, out through the mouth, dropping the shoulders down. And let's just arrive in this moment, right here, right now. We've just slowed it down. And I want for you to intuitively choose a number between 1 and 4, and you can do that now. Okay, got your number? Now that number is for the card you're going to pick for this time you're watching the video, whose message is just a little bit more relevant and pertinent to you. Now remember, we're doing Nurtured November. If you want to join us, that theme will be going through the Spirit Circle group in Facebook. So there'll be journaling prompts for that, probably some spreads to do, and, some check-ins. And we're asking, like, what is it that you really want to nurture in yourself this coming month? And November is that last month before the December craziness hits us. So it's a good time to take stock. Okay, so I'm asking, here's my question, how can we best nurture ourselves and our dreams, our hopes, and plans for our future over this month? Over this month, that's what I should have said. So how can we best nurture ourselves, our dreams, our hopes, and our plans for our future? Well, it's next month and ongoing, isn't it? Okay. But yes, I really would like to know. I love to respond to your comments. I really would like to know how these readings are going for you. If they're providing some practical support and assistance, I always love to know that. Okay, so I'm going to have to split this up a bit more. Didn't think this one through about too much. This is what happens when you're doing on the fly. But look, if you come and you work with me, and you'll be doing card reading for, as many years as I've been doing it. I think it's 12 years in business. As you said, almost 20 years in the industry. And you'll be able to do things like this, read off the fly. I didn't used to do it this way. All right. Okay, so our first card is Renewal of Peace. Oh, I love that. Look at the little sleeping baby. It's so cute, and all the animals are watching over them, making sure they're okay. Little sleeping angel. Oh, they're just so adorable. I love that. There's a robin, there's a snail, there's some autumn leaves, a hedgehog, and a little fluffy-eared squirrel. We don't have squirrels in Australia. We have possums. They are adorable, though. We also have sugar gliders. I don't know if we have them anywhere else in the world. Um, bit rusty in my zoology. Okay, renewal of peace. So if you chose card number 1, what Spirit want to say to you is, like in the Halloween message, it's time to come back here, to come back to center. So perhaps life's been crazy and chaotic for you lately if you chose card number 1. And Spirit really want to say to you, it's time to slow things down, to take it easy, and really importantly, take a time out for you. So if you chose card number 1, what you really need is stronger boundaries. And remember, nobody else breaks our boundaries, only us. We're the guilty party in that. So why are you breaking your boundaries? Are you trying to get everything done at the end of the year? I know when my kids were young, there was Christmas concerts and canteen things and running around and getting Christmas shopping. And now the shops have opened back up and everyone's going crazy. But you can detach from all of that because you can have a boundary around it and say, I choose peace for me today in this moment. And I will do things. I will hold myself accountable, and I will practice good, healthy daily habits like meditation and going for my walk, and just daydreaming, having a cup of afternoon tea. I have an afternoon tea ritual. No distractions, no screens, just me and the tea. And it's really important that that's self-care, that's nurturing, and that's boundaries around your time, your energy, your space, your resources. There's only one person who will ever know you the very, very best and understand your deepest needs, and that's you and Spirit, really. You're the one that has to carry this out, this self-care out. You're the one that has to acknowledge your needs and your desires. So, renewal of peace, it's hopeful. It's a hopeful message because it's saying you can renew the peace you have. And even if you're feeling great and you go, oh, Kylie, that doesn't, really resonate with me at all at the moment. It's saying, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing really well, and just do a little bit more of it, because we know we can get caught up in that landslide towards the end of the year, and things can go crazy town. All right, if you chose card number 2, your card is You Are Worth It. Oh, I love this. So beautiful. Actually, I'm not sure if we had this before. I think the artwork sometimes um, confuses me because they're all so beautiful. I like this one. It's like your ship is actually coming in. Yes, and the ship is coming in, and the lotus. You know, the lotus is a big symbol for me. I have it as part of my logo. Is a hummingbird and the lotus. You say you are worth it. So renewal of peace, and then the message you are worth it. And what Spirit want to say to you if you chose card number 2, and remember you can put all these cards together as a whole message for everybody. Is that you're worth asserting those boundaries. You're worth taking the time it takes for you to, return to peace and to feel good and feel better about your life. You're worth acknowledging whatever has been your challenge at the moment or whatever challenges, you are processing and navigating. And you're worth support, and assistance, like receiving support and assistance. You're worth that pay rise. You're worth a better job. You're worth, working on your dreams, especially towards a new year. What kind of life do you want to be living this time next year? And if we make baby steps towards, making these changes, it can happen. This time next year, you could be in a completely different place. You could be feeling different. And the big thing too, especially because you are a highly sensitive, highly in tune, psychic, intuitive person, you need to know that as we navigate these big changes in the world, and which we're so sensitive to, that we still have a right to live our lives. And even though we are guiding and leading people, and we're being those light bringers and light bearers, and we are, looking after ourselves and being that role model and, demonstrating good spiritual leadership, um, and we're aware of all this turmoil, and the universal energies and where we're headed and all the rest. You still need to take time to just focus on you and live your life. And you are totally, totally worth it. Don't feel guilty. No guilty. No guilty feelings about that. And know that, there's a reason why we lack self-worth. And it's really good to unpack that with a professional, and to look at how that may be coming up for you, maybe doing some journaling, things like that, because a deep sense of self worth and confidence and esteem, that has its roots way back in childhood. So that's something you really got to unpack with the professionals, not a psychic who has no qualification in that area. Okay, oops. If you chose card number 3, what do we have? I've got to pull it back so I can see it. Show your support. Oh, I love it. Now, as a highly intuitive person, a highly sensitive person as well, you have a unique way that you can show support. When the rest of the world doesn't see people, we see them. And when someone says, say, how are you going? And someone says, oh, I'm fine. I'm just fine. You look at it and you think, you're not fine. You're so far away from fine, it's not funny. And then you look at them and don't tell them they look tired, they look like shit. Don't ever say that, doesn't help. Just look at them honestly, and they can tell in your eyes that you see them and say, how are you really? What do you need? Would you like to come and have a cup of coffee? People out there are struggling. We just had this massive hailstorm in the Wollondilly, and people's houses were damaged. Somebody just not far from me was trapped in a car. A tree fell on it. Our community, and for the pandemic, like, we're just reeling from one thing to the next. People need to know that there is a hopeful, bright future for them and for all of us. They need to know that what we're going through is meaningful, not meaningless. They need us to help make sense of what's going on, and for us to be those role models, taking good care of ourselves, renewing our peace, understanding our self-worth, doing the deep spiritual self, personal growth and development. And that way we can support. And when you see, your friend, your family members, you don't have to give a lot, but just do what you can. I mean, this week I felt bad because a friend of mine was suffering and I was really sick and I couldn't go and be there for them. but I got my partner to go and do something nice for them, and they really appreciated it. So whatever support you can give in any way, saying thank you, and just being mindful that everyone's got their own stuff going on. We don't have to buy into it, but we can just see the human. We can just understand we've been there, we've had challenging days, we've had moments where, we've been graceless, we've lost our humanity a bit. We can just have compassion and have self-compassion and be the person that says thank you. Be the person that picks up the litter, be the person that gives the hug. Ask people, what do you need? People love being asked that because then it invites them to just take a breath, check in with where, how they're really feeling and think about, well, what is it that they need? And then maybe there's something practical you can do. Okay, if you chose card number 4, our last and final card, oh, this is gorgeous. Clear endeavor. We're moving ahead, people. If you chose card number 4, I'd really love to know if you chose different cards last month. For November, for Nurtured November, you are moving ahead. We've still kind of got this snow message coming through with the Halloween and that too. So yeah, we need more clarity on where we're going, but we are definitely moving ahead. And I love that. And I can resonate with that message. Making those changes to my business weren't easy, but now I do feel like I've got a clear path and I can move ahead. What they want to say too is it's time to really get clear on what you want and what kind of life do you want to be living November 2022. And I can tell you it's going to be bumpy, it's going to be full of challenges, and yet you can still keep living the life that you want to be living, and that you have every right to that, and that you're here on this planet for a reason. You're here to create a meaningful, purposeful life. So get clear on your goals, on your dreams, and what you want. And sometimes the way to figure out what you want is to look at what you don't want in your life. So what do you not want in November 2022? What would you hate to have in your life again this time next year? And I know it's challenging. Baby steps. You got to put your brave pants on. You got to work out your courage muscles, because this is going to take courage. This is going to take risk taking. This is going to take bravery to make these changes. Get support, do it in community. I sent out my last newsletter and it was all about the importance of community. I think I did a blog post on it too. And I realized, we make progress in community. We heal in community. We support and witness and, thrive together in community. So think about even too what kind of communities you want to be living in this time next year. So clear endeavor. Get clear, people. Sometimes that's, we are moving ahead, but that snow message for me, that winter is always about pausing and reflection and the quiet and the void and the vacuum. So you may not be blasting ahead, but I feel like connecting with that Halloween message is a good time to just see where you're at. Don't push for action right now. The action is that going within and getting clear on where it is you want to head. And that, you will move ahead quicker once that happens. I'm loving all this, absolutely loving it. Please let me know if any of these messages resonate with you. If you're interested in any of the packages I told you about, there was one other thing I had to tell you about. I was thinking about when I was doing that, can't remember. Oh well, if you would like to hear the latest news, you can subscribe to my newsletter. You can do that on the website. That's probably the best place to go. And if you want to find out anything more about me, it's www.kyliesavage.com. I'm wishing you such a blessed and happy Samhain, Halloween, Beltane, whatever you're celebrating. I'd love to see these pics. And take care out there. Have fun. And may your Halloween and your November be totally and fully blessed. I will see you again in December, probably early December, to get that December Oracle cast out. Okay, see ya.